There is a power that comes to women when they give birth. They don't ask for it. It simply invades them, accumulates like clouds on the horizon, and passes through, carrying the child with it. Cheryl Feldman. You're welcome to this month's Pine Cones. I'm your host Neve, and we're wading into the world of pregnancy superstitions. Those tales, warnings, folk beliefs and curiosities that have been passed down through generations. Because really, what's pregnancy without a little folklore? For as long as women have been having babies, beliefs and superstitions about what the baby will look like, their assigned sex, their temperament, have existed. Some beliefs are protective and guard against birth defects and miscarriage, functioning as collective behaviours believed to bring good or bad fortune. They could act to strengthen human belief in the existence of God, or invoke supernatural beings or ancestral spirits who are important to the community. Or they might even have basis in observed medical conditions which our predecessors did not have the tools or knowledge to explain. Folk beliefs are used to improve or shape people's attitudes and behaviours, or they attribute some form of control over the uncontrollable. And crucially, the folk belief expresses the negative outcomes when violated. These beliefs are, at their core, a defense mechanism for things that may happen which are too painful to be accepted or explained with normal human emotion. Inevitably, throughout history, different cultures have sought to influence or control what a pregnant woman does with her body. In Filipino folklore, wearing high heels during pregnancy was said to result in a baby being born cross-eyed. In parts of Indonesia, expectant mothers were warned not to eat twin bananas, lest they give birth to twins themselves. Other beliefs are common across multiple cultures. Eat lots of peanuts if you want a boy. Pregnant women should avoid stress and scary things. Birthmarks are the result of emotional shocks to the mother. If a woman's hair is cut while she's pregnant, the baby could develop problems with its vision. If you're pregnant and you look upon a monkey, your child will look like a monkey. Maybe you want a successful child. Well, if you read a lot, the baby will grow up to be a lawyer. Don't cross your legs, or the baby will have a pointed head. Spicy foods eaten during pregnancy can burn the baby's eyes, resulting in blindness. Pregnant women should avoid stepping over ropes while pregnant, since doing so could result in a nuchal cord, where the umbilical cord becomes tangled around the baby's neck. Oh, and never raise your arms above your head while pregnant, as this too could result in a nuchal cord. In Ireland, pregnant women were told where to go and encouraged not to visit graveyards or woods. The Simalungun people, who are an ethnic group in North Sumatra, believe pregnant women should not get wet in the rain to protect their newborn from experiencing headaches. Then there are the temperaments. If you're angry, your baby will come out the same way. If you're mean and awful, so will your baby be. Unfortunately, the themes of misogyny can extend to unborn girls too. According to myth, girls steal away their mother's beauty. If a woman looked radiant during pregnancy, it was assumed that she must be carrying a boy, as though a daughter would siphon away her mother's looks in utero. Another superstition claimed that the worse a woman's morning sickness, the more likely she was to be carrying a girl. This belief actually might have some scientific roots. One study published in 2004 found that women who suffered from severe nausea and vomiting during pregnancy were slightly more likely to give birth to girls. But rather than attributing this to the presence of a baby girl draining her mother, modern science suggests it's due to higher levels of pregnancy hormones. And then, of course, there are the mood swings. It was believed that pregnant women's mood swings indicate that she's carrying a girl, as if hormonal changes and the sheer exhaustion of growing a human weren't enough. This old tale subtly implies that even before birth, girls are somehow responsible for making life more difficult. In reality, mood swings are a normal part of pregnancy, regardless of whether the baby is a boy or a girl. Of course, men got off pretty easily in most pregnancy-related traditions, but one old Irish custom did make them share a tiny bit of the burden. In some regions, expectant fathers were required to carry buckets of water to and from the house as a way of symbolically sharing in the pain of childbirth. A small gesture, not exactly equivalent to labour contractions, but okay. Pregnancy can be such a time of excitement for expectant parents, and many cultures developed ways to predict the sex of an unborn child. In Slavic tradition, a wedding ring is dangled over the pregnant belly. If moved in circles, it was said to indicate a girl. If it swung like a pendulum, a boy. Similar beliefs exist in parts of Latin America and South Asia. The belief that heartburn during pregnancy indicates a baby will be born with a full head of hair has some scientific backing. A 2006 study published in Birth found a correlation between increased levels of estrogen and progesterone, hormones that relax the esophagus and contribute to heartburn, and increased fetal hair growth. However, this does not mean that every case of heartburn results in a particularly hairy newborn. Ancient Greek superstition claimed that if conception occurred during a north wind, the baby would be a boy, while a south wind meant a girl. While amusing, modern biology tells us that sex determination is based entirely on whether the fertilizing sperm carries an X or a Y chromosome. Some of these pregnancy superstitions, though unscientific, might contain a kernel of truth. An old wives' tale held that the health of the mother, both mental and physical, could affect the baby. Isn't this just common sense? In traditional Chinese medicine, pregnant women were advised to avoid cold or raw foods to maintain bodily balance. Today, we know that avoiding raw or undercooked meats and seafood is crucial for preventing foodborne illnesses that could harm the unborn child. Irish folk wisdom claimed that drinking plenty of water would give the baby clear skin. While water doesn't influence complexion, proper hydration is essential for producing amniotic fluid and maintaining the increased blood volume needed during pregnancy. Of course, it wouldn't be a pine cones if we didn't tell you about some folkloric beliefs. Mexican culture says that a moonbeam crossing through the window in the dark of the month will make the child a werewolf or a vampire. In some cultures, it's believed that buying, receiving, or opening baby gifts before the baby arrives attracts evil spirits and brings misfortune, such as miscarriage. Irish women who encountered a hare would have a baby with a cleft palate. To prevent this happening, the woman would cut a split into any petticoat she wore during the pregnancy. Women in Ireland who were childless were encouraged to attend and watch the spectacle of the May Baby or Babog Baltina, a public gathering that occurred on May Day in some parts of the country. A doll made from straw was attached to a pole, and a man and his wife, dressed in straw costume, danced around the doll to musical accompaniment. In many cultures, the time of a woman's labour was thought to be a liminal one, when the spirit or the other world was closer. Russians believe that during childbirth a woman is destined for the afterlife and thus must lose human or earthly properties, so she should be as quiet as possible during childbirth. Singing was not allowed because she also loses her voice. The people involved in childbirth were believed to be more susceptible to evil forces at this time, so used prayer and ritual to protect themselves. In Celtic cultures, when labour began, the father had to fetch the midwife and someone had to accompany him as he was believed to be vulnerable to danger. Among the Slavs, East Slavic pregnant women prayed to Mokosh, the goddess of earth, waters and fertility, and connected with her through women's chores. Men in this culture have an exceptional protective role towards women, especially during pregnancy. If he cannot share this time with her, especially at night, the woman must wear his clothes or part of them. If nothing else, keeping his belt is good enough. So there you have it. Pregnancy wrapped in folklore, wrapped in superstition, wrapped in, well, sometimes questionable nonsense. While many of these beliefs are relics of the past, they offer a fascinating glimpse into how different cultures have understood and interpreted the journey of bringing new life into the world. And if you've ever been warned that stepping over a rope might make your baby's umbilical cord tangle, just smile and nod. Maybe keep a pair of scissors handy just in case. This has been Pine Cones. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow Rowan and Pine for more folklore, myths, and dark history with a feminist slant. If you're in the UK and Ireland, honour your mother this Sunday in the way she deserves. Until next time, watch out for moonbeams and maybe don't check the weather before you know.
Thanks for listening, and fuck yeah, folklore. Fuck yeah, folklore.